I thought I'd do these idiots a favor. This moron congresswoman and this dunce over at CNN. You ready? Just get ready to take notes. You got a pen? Get your pen out and you can take notes. Here's the actual proof. It's way beyond evidence. At this point, it's pretty much proven Biden was taking money. You've got suspicious activity reports from banks. You suggesting that's not evidence? You ready to sue them? You've got a credible, confidential human source the FBI's deemed credible that has already said Biden is the big guy taking money from foreign sources. You've got photos of Joe Biden at business meetings with Hunter Biden's business partners in restaurants. You've got a voicemail from Joe Biden to his son saying, hey, I think you're in the clear. You've got emails from business partners suggesting that 10% has to be kept for the big guy. You've got bank records in banks showing a money trail from Rob Walker and others to the Biden family. You've got texts from Hunter Biden to his family members saying, hey, listen, I'm getting tired of taking care of dad and all. You've got WhatsApp messages from Hunter Biden to a foreign business partner saying, I'm sitting next to my dad and you better come through. You have physical meetings Joe Biden was at, according to one of their business partners, with Hunter Biden's business partner. You have two business partners testifying against Joe Biden, Tony Bobolinsky and Devon Archer here, who both have come out publicly. Devon Archer's going to on Monday if he makes it, that have both come out and said this guy is part and parcel to a bribery scheme. We're going to say something like that. You have two whistleblowers suggesting that this case was being handled differently and that Biden was up to something. You have his travel with his father on Air Force Two, Hunter Biden, literal pictures of him getting off in foreign countries he was doing business with. And then you have you have tapes, you have audio tapes of Joe Biden, audio videotapes talking about, well, son of a bitch, we fired the prosecutor. And you have Joe Biden on tape with the Ukrainian president saying, I'll get you the $1 billion now that you fired the prosecutor. But you're right. There's other than that, there is, Guy said it right, fellas. There's no evidence at all. You dip in the media.
Speaker McCarthy is going to do, not going to do, how House Republicans are going to move forward. I just don't have anything else to share.
I see nothing.
I know nothing.
There's 9 wonders.
What?
Wonders of the world.
What?
Literally. Think of that.
Think of that?
You know, it's amazing. Enduring symbol of America to the entire world. America's natural wonders are central to our heritage and our identity as a nation.
What?
Conserving them not only protects the livelihoods
What,
of
were you
people
going
who
to fill
depend
in the
on them,
Grand Canyon or something?
preserves key pieces of our history. Electric buses and vehicles in the world. You guys are getting us in the game. It's going to make a lot of difference.
Yeah,
Well, now
right.
they're out of the game because the company was a scam. In California, the buses caught on fire. In Philly, they broke down. And in Alaska, the batteries froze in the cold. And in Minnesota, they stalled out on the hills. The wheels on the bus do not go round and round. And it takes a year to fix an electric bus because the parts are so rare. So why would the Democrats invest so much political capital and taxpayer capital in a broken electric bus company?
Kickbacks.
Because it was a pump and dump scheme. Al Gore had millions invested in the company while he was lobbying the White House to herald it. George Soros had over $20 million invested in Proterra. Jennifer Granholm, Biden's energy secretary, sat on the company's board. She held stock in Proterra while she was secretary. And then sold it for about $1.5 million. Joe Biden even put the Proterra CEO on a prestigious government board. And reports say Proterra insiders dumped their stock before the company went bankrupt.
No.
This was a political pump and dump.
Oh.
Cash out before the crash. Proterra stock is now worth 17 cents a share.
Good time to buy.
This is like Solyndra. House Republicans need to launch an immediate investigation
Oh,
into this
that'll change
taxpayer-funded
everything.
scam that Biden donors and cronies made a fortune from.
I'd send them a nasty
Clay
letter.
Travis is the founder of Outkick.
Whoa, put on the brakes. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, wide heifers, right, left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, that is, to another version of It's News to Us. And you are watching Who are we? Where are we? You're watching It's News to Us. In the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, inventor of modern TV, American TV. You can see here he is waving in the booth. We slide him a pizza under the door once a week or so. You can see his drum videos at Terry DeFazio on YouTube. And we're Newport's oldest TV news. What's just new? New brown cow, as the locals say. And defund the police? No. No, it's not working out. And did you see him beating that guy who was stealing cigarettes?
Yeah, from the 7-Eleven, yeah.
I will teach you, man. You're not stealing anything more from our store, damn it.
No more camels for you.
No, that's it. We have had it, man. Those things go for $12, $15 a pack.
I know, and I'm telling you, they're in California. Was it in California?
Yeah.
They're telling store owners don't confront.
Yeah.
Really, that's what the law is now stating. And get this: after the first time you get ripped off, the insurance won't pay for any more after that. So I don't blame the guy for beating them up.
No, like the guy who took the video said, they only beat him below the waist, so it taught him a lesson, man.
Nothing lost there.
Yeah, and all hail the cadaver in chief. That's it. He was out in Arizona yesterday. Did he go down to the border and watch the caravan of 6,000 people cross the border yesterday? Oh no, he went there to put uranium mining off limits. Because of this climate stuff. And here's some climate skeptic websites you can look up for yourself. There's a ton more. It's not settled science. It's not. And even if it was, what are we going to do? I mean, we're going to go live back in the Stone Age while China and India, can pollute at will? What the hell?
Stupid phone went off.
Terry's ass dialing somebody.
You know, the darn thing popped on. I'm looking for something.
Are you mad all the time? That's right. This week's show is brought to you by Angachucks for woodchucks and chuggettes. Because fainting, suicide, and rash and infection of the perineum, and all kinds of other good stuff.
Hey, I did see an article was interesting. You know Angus Young?
Yeah.
The guitar player for AC/DC. He said when he came to the United States, every time he'd come here, he'd have every drug dealer looking for him and every narc looking for him. And all he does is eat chocolate bars and drink tea. That guy is wired, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure is, man. And today is August 9th. That's right. It's Jerry Day. For those of us who remember Jerry Garcia. In today's paper, it says, this day in history, 1995, Jerry Garcia, lead singer of the Dead, died in Forest Knolls, California, of a heart attack at age 53.
Yeah, he was withdrawing from heroin.
Yeah, and the rehab people didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Well, you know, generally speaking, people who withdraw and detox from heroin don't die, but they didn't look for a heart condition. That's what killed him.
Plus, he was a diabetic, too.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Now, an alcoholic detoxing, you got a problem.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Anyways,
also, today,
Steve,
this day in history, too.
I'll get you a beer if you like.
Yeah, all right. Oh, I've been on the wagon.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for a long time. Since the Super Bowl. And I haven't had a cigarette since friggin' Memorial Day or something like that.
Well, you're saving a lot of money, aren't you?
No, I used to roll my own. With the machine and the filter tubes. But anyways, 1945, 3 days after the bombing of Hiroshima, a code B-29, codenamed Boxcar, dropped a nuclear device over Nagasaki, killing an estimated 74,000 people. And Sharon Tate got wiped out by Manson's people. 74,000 people. My mother was in Dresden when it was firebombed over Valentine's Day in 1945. And they estimated that between 150 and 200 something thousand people got killed. 3 days of bombing. The British bombed at night, and the Allies bombed during the day. And there was no Luftwaffe. It was not a military target. The war was over.
Yep.
That's crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah. Oh, in 74, Gerald Ford became the 38th president. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, in 1854, Henry David Thoreau's Walden was first published. Henry David Thoreau, you know, if you live out in the woods, Philo, and just mooch off of other people, and beg for food and stuff like that, they would have called you a bum, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a Harvard degree and do it and write about it, they call you an environmental sage.
Or they could call you the Unabomber.
Yeah. Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, I get this. This is from today's paper, too. Staten Island, New York. Authorities on Monday are trying to learn more about the human limb discovered floating off Staten Island by a tugboat worker. Found in Great Kills Harbor, police said it appeared to be the lower limb to the foot. It was brought to the New York medical examiner's office. Testing began to determine whether it matches any previously discovered body parts. Police received a 911 call after 11 a.m. of what appeared to be human remains floating in the water. I wonder if it was sharks or the mafia. A woman critically injured by a rare shark bite off Rockaway Beach, too. 50-year-old woman was swimming just before 6 p.m. Shark bit her on the left leg. Somebody got bitten by a shark, and the shark took off with friggin' 20 pounds of friggin' flesh, Philo.
Yeah, the sharks, they have trouble differentiating what they want and what they see.
Yeah.
They don't really like humans.
No, seals are much tastier, I hear. Yeah, well, let's see. Okay, now this is, thanks to Philo for printing this up for me. This is from the Gateway Pundit, okay? Now, always be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you might get it, okay? Now, this idiot Jack Smith we told you about, this guy with the bad skin and the bad hair and the bad personality, this friggin' legal pit bull who is committing lawfare against Donald Trump. Man, if they got a Woody for Donald Trump, and, hey, don't get me going about him. It should be up to the voters to decide, not the friggin' Justice Department, especially when we have the most corrupt person on the planet in the White House right now. But anyways, what they'll do is when they bring Trump to trial on this January 6th stuff, he's going to be able to bring in witnesses and stuff and to prove that the election was stolen. And man, is there a lot of proof out there now that I don't know if you can say stolen on YouTube anymore, but see, Trump thinks it was stolen, and you could say it was rigged because we weren't allowed to see any of the evidence. Because the deep state and Twitter and Facebook and the rest of them conspired to keep it off the internet.
It just seemed funny to me as Barb and I were watching the election results, how all of a sudden Biden kept creeping up and creeping up and creeping up and creeping up as the night went on. And of course you had CNN at the time, the biggest cheerleaders out there. I thought they were supposed to report the news, not cheerlead on it. Yeah,
here we have proof. This is from the Gateway Pundit. These guys are great. Massive 2020 voter fraud uncovered in Michigan, including an estimated 800,000 ballot applications sent to non-qualified voters. Bags of prepaid gift cards. That's how they got around paying these people, because you're not supposed to pay volunteers, right, Philo? Mm-hmm. And prepaid gift cards, guns with silencers, burner phones, and a Democratic-funded organization with multiple temporary facilities in several states. On October 8th, 2020, a month before the election, a Muskegon, Michigan clerk noticed a black female whose name was redacted from the police report dropping off between 8,000 to 10,000 completed voter registration applications at the clerk's office. The police department was contacted and asked to investigate. On the 21st of October, First Lieutenant Mike Anderson was contacted, Chief of Investigations for the Attorney General, and he asked for the state police for assistance for a joint investigation. A task force was formed and investigation initiated, and it gives you the police report, and the clerk became suspicious when the female hand-delivered thousands of registrations through her office, many of them in the same handwriting, Philo.
Alrighty.
Gosh, let's see, Sean McBride, a quantity of highly suspicious and possibly fraudulent. And it goes on and on. And it says, examples included an address in the end and another in the redacted. These addresses do not exist in the Muskegon City house numbering system. Another form listed 80 West Southern Ave, which is the address for the high school, and clearly not a residence. Let's see, they investigated the female and found out she was being paid $1,150 a week to find unregistered voters and provide them with a form so they could get registered and get an absentee ballot. And it goes on and on from there. And this is like 9 pages that Philo was nice enough to pull the ads out of.
We didn't even get the whole damn article. It's probably 12 whole pages in the whole article.
Yeah. Oh, and breaking news right now, Trump reveals the dirty January 6th committee illegally destroyed their records and documents now that he has full subpoena power in his case. See what I mean about be careful what you wish for? What happened to all their records, Philo? We had to watch this stupid show on TV, night after night, and hearings, and Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger crying and stuff, only to find that it was covered up and buried.
Kind of like dog poop.
Yeah. The police report names GBI Strategies as the organization running the scheme. But anyways, that's the gist of it. I could go through in minor details, but it would put a lot of you to sleep. But trust me, it's here. And they knew weeks before the election. And they were instructed by higher ups not to do signature matching in multiple states. That was the dirtiest election we have ever seen. And if it happens again, God help this country, because I'll tell you what, mister, I don't think people are going to put up with it. I really don't think so. I don't think so at all. There's a lot of old geezers who are extremely well armed, on their last legs health-wise, and really wouldn't mind going out in a blaze of flaming lead. Oh man! How about some news that we don't news? Let's see. Well, 200 victims, 59 missing kids found by the FBI, according to NBC News. 40% of the people in Florida busted for kiddie sex, Philo, were illegal aliens.
No, you're kidding. I
Oh,
would have
they're
never
only
thought of
com-
such a thing.
They're only coming here to rape the kids that, citizens won't rape.
Well, this whole COVID thing cost us so much money, we could have eradicated human trafficking.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Don't get me going. I just want to live to see the day that Fauci gets his due.
Well, all of them were right in there with him. They kept saying, listen to the guy, get the vaccine, you'll be protected, you won't get the virus, it'll stop it in its tracks, and it'll be over in a month.
Oh,
And none of that happened.
Yeah, everybody but Fox said that. Rachel Madcow.
Oh, gosh, don't get me started on her again. And she does have mad cow disease, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, get this. If you go to Dr. Naomi Wolf's website, dailyclout.io, okay? She's unbelievable. If you go to her website, she's got a story where they uncovered that Health and Human Services paid or underwrote acond.org. I don't know what that is. That might be the news site where it comes from. They underwrote $10,000 a doctor or a piece or something. But $16 billion or $25 billion was allocated to providers of OBGYNs. According to the digging by Dr. Thorpe and Dr. Pierre Corey, these are good guys, that on 4/10/21 they knew, Walensky knew, Philo, that there was a problem with giving the vaccine to pregnant women.
Yep.
And yet they did anyways, and they were spreading money around to do it. And they found polyethylene glycol in the breast milk. And that's just coming out in the Pfizer documents right now. The Moderna documents are coming out later, like next week, week after.
Yep.
And that should be fun too.
Yeah, because I had Barb and I had the Moderna.
But imagine that. Polyethylene glycol in breast milk, Philo?
Geez, good thing I don't have it. I'm not taking any of that, huh?
Good grief, man. This could be, like I said in the beginning, when the state of Vermont was stupid enough to give me press credentials, I said this could be the biggest medical bungle since thalidomide, and it looks like it could be even worse.
Oh, I don't doubt that in about 10 years from now, Steve, you'll see lawsuits all over the place over people having problems with this vaccine. I know that we've had ours, and I'm not getting any more. They've got a fifth one coming that's coming out, or has come out, and I said, no, I'm not taking any more of these. Forget it.
Yeah, and they can say, well, we've got immunity, Well, you have immunity if you did everything by the book and you were on the up and up. But if you committed fraud, if you're a drug company and you committed fraud, speaking of which, Philo and I did this on the show last year. We look up on the internet, Pfizer's criminal history.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you'll get pages and pages. But there's a fraud exemption there, trust us. And also, thanks to Geezer Joe or Trader Joe, this bonehead who kept printing money, all this guy would have had to do, look, he's never in the White House anyways. He could have became president and then just put his feet up and did nothing. And the economy was slowly coming back. People didn't need or want, people who didn't need or want the vaccine wouldn't have been forced to take it. He could have just let everything go, but no, he saw this as a boondoggle to print more money to give to his friends, like he did with this bus company, this electric bus company that's going bankrupt, right? Yet went bankrupt yesterday. But oh no, Okay, so, and the dollar has lost more than 17% of its purchasing power, and gasoline prices have gone up 30 cents a gallon in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's getting close to $4 a gallon now.
Yeah, oh yeah. So what's happening now, we told you about this meeting in Durban, South Africa. Since Biden's spending, our bonds, the U.S. bonds have been downgraded from AAA plus, from AA plus to AAA, according to Fitch, which means the cost of our debt will double in 10 years, just on the interest, okay? And we're going to be paying $5 billion a day, Philo, in interest in perpetuity, unless we get a handle on this stupid-ass spending.
Yes, and who was the last president to actually balance the budget and pay a little bit of it down?
Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Yep.
And we had to impeach him because he had an affair with a woman. Oh boy, how awful.
He did it, but he did it a little bit reluctantly because he had a conservative Congress and Senate. They kind of arm twisted him into it. But hey, it looks good in history because, like you say, he was the last one to balance the freaking budget.
Twice.
Yeah, and because the 90s, I mean, that's what Philo and that's what our generation kept saying. When the Berlin Wall came down, we said, when do we get our peace dividend, okay? When do the wars stop? When do the wars stop, and when do we get our peace dividend, and we could pay off the debt, and we'd be fine, okay? And and what did they do? What did they do?
They got Bush and Cheney and got 2 more wars out of them.
Yep, they got Bush and Cheney in there. When that was another thing. All the Democrats contested that election, as well they should. You know, remember the bumper stickers that said "Sore Loserman" instead of Gore Lieberman? But I mean, granted, Joe Lieberman as a choice for VP was horrible.
You might as well watch paint dry.
Yeah, I'm Joe Lieberman, and I don't feel so good.
My gosh, I don't understand that. That is the second worst choice, other than what McCain did with Sarah Payload.
Yeah.
Whoever talked him into that?
Well, God Almighty, I never thought I'd see anyone more stupid than Sarah Palin until Chlamydia Harris came along.
She's dumber than a post, isn't she?
Yeah. Oh, I love those electric buses. I just love them. Oh, wait a minute. They're starting on fire. They can't make it up hills, and they blow up. The batteries do.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah. And so anyways, we should have our peace dividend now, and that's what scares Washington the most about Trump. Because they know that Trump is right. With it, Trump will get in there, and peace. There'll be peace talks, and the war in the Ukraine will be over in 2 days, man.
You know, I don't like Trump, but when that reporter asked him a question and wouldn't let him even answer it, remember she kept saying, "Well, which side do you want to win?" He says, "I want the killing to stop."
Yeah.
And she kept needling him, and he didn't bite.
No. I'm telling you, he's a blowhard and he's a bully, but son of a biscuit, man. He like Teddy Roosevelt and Andy Jackson, he gets stuff done, and he ain't afraid to knock heads together and make enemies because he just doesn't care. He's made his money, he doesn't care, and now they're forcing him to spend millions and millions of dollars, but he doesn't care because he cares about his country. I know he does. And speaking of people who don't care about their country,
that's everybody else down there in Washington.
Guess who's
everybody
pleading?
Else down there doesn't care.
Yeah, really. Guess who's pleading? In court today, Philo?
Who's that?
The FBI agent named John McGonigal.
Oh boy.
or Jim McGonigal. Yeah, he was one of the highest. He was a counterintelligence FBI agent at the New York Bureau, and he was the one. He worked with Robert Mueller to go after Trump and make sure that the Russians weren't involved in the 2016 election, and that, you know, they weren't compromised, and they got rid of General Flynn and all this other stuff. Well, it turns out that this McGonigal guy, Philo, he's pleading guilty in New York City to taking money from the Russians, and then taking more Russian bribe money in Washington D.C. also.
Oh.
So the guy, everything that they accused Trump of, they themselves were doing personally.
Wow, imagine that.
Yeah, the FBI, famous but incompetent, Philo. Unbelievable. Yeah, 11,000 Proterra buses. Oh, no, it takes 11,000 gallons to put out one of these electric vehicles, but the Proterra bus company is the one that's going into bankruptcy, or already did yesterday, I think. And it's just crazy. Oh yeah, another boondoggle was the Biden, the Chips for America Act, $52 billion, yeah, including $166 billion that was announced by private companies. Now, $52 billion, come on, we've already given $52 billion, we've already given $150 billion to the damned Ukrainians. Yep. And you see where some of their generals over there are refusing to fight in this spring offensive. It's going so bad that they're just getting chewed up by the Russians because they've got, you know, they have artillery with air support and you know, and everything else, that the Ukrainians are just getting chewed up and spit out. And so they're saying, some of their generals are saying, look, you know, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. You guys are back in Kiev eating caviar and going to the ballet and rock clubs and fancy restaurants, and our boys are over here in the eastern Ukraine getting blown to smithereens. And no, we're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, even the generals in Hitler's army wanted to end things way before he did.
Oh yeah, almost did too.
Yeah, if they'd have had that bomb planted about a foot in the other direction, they could have done it.
Yeah, if that table had been built a little flimsier.
Yeah.
Nope, that was
that's what you get with German workmanship. You get high quality stuff.
It was a 2-inch thick planks, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah.
It was built to dance on. Yeah, and we're finding out that a lot of these weasels behind the Stop Trump movement have their tentacles in this outfit called Arabella. And I've known people who have dealings with this Arabella insurance company. Arabella was the name of one of the ships that brought over the Puritans, not the Pilgrims, but the Puritans to Boston. And they've got their tentacles and everything. And there's another guy, he's like the Great Reset guy there, Klaus Schwab.
Oh boy, yeah. Don't get me started on that guy.
Yeah, well, this guy's name he's from Switzerland, and his name is Hans Weiss. Yep, well, Weiss is white, okay? Mm-hmm. Hans Weiss, and he's head of the Stop Trump movement. I'll try and have more information on his lame ass next week. And let's see, what else have we got? Oh yeah, this is from today's paper. It just kills me. What has this got to do with anything? See, they're trying to get people in Vermont used to free needles, Philo. Okay, here's the bottom of the page. West Virginia and free needles. They call it an exchange, but it isn't really. You just go get free needles, and then you leave your crappy ones on the ground.
Like they did at our old place. I'll forget
exactly.
That day you and I found that needle back there.
West Virginia junkies with free needles. What's that got to do with Vermont, you know? Oh, that's right. It's harm reduction. That's what we're going to call it.
Well, there is such a thing as harm reduction. That is called enabling is another thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's sooner, I mean, you have to get people off of the stuff eventually. You can't enable them and just buy them. It's like buying Alky's bottles of Jack friggin' Daniels. And look at this, you know, this kills me. And this is another thing about these idiot friggin' snowflake liberals. Is they're all fine. Biden, he came on, did an interview with the Weather Channel of all people, and he said he's going to shut down domestic oil production in the east and in the west and in the middle of the country to boot, right? He's going to shut it down. So, but we're still going to be buying oil from Venezuela, that dirty, high sulfur, crappy oil from Venezuela. And we're still going to be buying high-priced oil from Russia and friggin' Saudi Arabia, right?
Who has just cut production, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That jacked up the prices, exactly.
Yep.
Milo's right on the money. But here it is in today's paper. Ukrainians work in U.S. oil fields. I'm all like, what? Wait a minute, what? Why is there an article about the Ukrainians working in the North Dakota oil fields? I mean, granted, it's a frozen wasteland of tundra.
Yeah, even in the summer.
Even in the summer, exactly. I mean, God bless them. And some of the nicest people I've ever met were in the Dakotas. Don't get me wrong here. But, speaking of which, there was a great Errol Flynn movie on Sunday. They died with their boots on, about General Custer. The history was horrible. But parts of it were true, especially the part about Custer being a teetotaler. He didn't drink. And the part about him being a friend to the Indians, too. They did find some gold in the Dakotas, but what they did was they salted a lot of places with gold, so that they would get settlers in there to drive out the Indians. They were horrible rat bastards. The oil boom initially was met by an organic workforce of western North Dakotans with experience in oilfield jobs elsewhere. But as the economy reeled from the Great Recession, thousands flocked to the Bakken oil field from other states and even other countries to fill high-wage jobs. Tech advances for combining horizontal drilling and fracking made capturing the oil locked deep underground possible. So why aren't we doing it? Why do we have to live like, why are we going to live like friggin' Fred Flintstone and spend all of our disposable income on food and fuel and heating our homes while India and China and all these other third world countries, why? What is wrong with these people?
Because we're going to save the planet.
We can save the planet. It's just going to take a while. It's not going to happen over friggin' night.
And it's also going to take the whole world to do it, not just us.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and I'm all for doing some digging, Philo, because I swear to God, when Nikola Tesla said that electricity was free and it was everywhere, and all we had to do was know how to go and get it, I think he was telling the truth. And I think he knew what he was doing. But because there was no money in it.
Well, way back in the 70s, when we had our first Arab oil embargo.
Yep.
And I remember this was 72, right around 72 or so. They said the reason, somebody said, well, why don't we harness the sun? Solar power. And the reason was the electric companies can't put a meter on it.
Exactly.
Now that they finally figured it out, now we have it.
And we've got storage, but here's the thing. That's another thing. We've closed down all of our lithium mines and stuff like that because of a stupid plant out in Nevada. What's it called? The Nevada buckthorn or some damn thing. You know, we can't mine for minerals, but yet we can pay kids and slave wages in Africa to do it.
I think we had a lithium mine in Arkansas, didn't we?
Oh, there's a few of them in the country that I know of.
There's a few in Australia also.
The GMP had a thing on last night. It was the size of a tractor trailer. It was called a Nomad, and it was a battery that would power this factory. It has a continuous load, and because they needed continuous power all the time, right?
Yep.
The thing's called a Nomad, and according to GMP, it could power 100 homes for 5 hours. But that's still not anywhere near what we need, you know?
No.
And solar is great, especially, you know, solar hot water. You know, everywhere south of the Manson-Nixon line, you get free hot water. Hell, my buddy's father in Massachusetts had a rooftop solar unit for 20 years. Never paid a friggin' nickel for hot water. It's just nuts. There's a lot of things we can do. It's just, we're not going to jump to batteries in a matter of minutes.
You would not believe how many solar panels there are in Vermont. All over the place, you're seeing solar fields everywhere now.
Yeah, Ray's got some on his roof. He's pretty happy with his.
No, I mean, go down off the interstate in Barton. Head down towards Hardwick, down that way.
Yeah.
There is a huge field of solar panels down there.
But again, it's intermittent. We can't really store the power. I mean, you can boost up the grid for 4 to 6 hours a day, but after that, you're still left with natural gas or Hydro-Quebec or somebody for the rest of the base load.
Yeah.
Here
You
we
got to have
are.
a way to store it. That's the next thing they've got to figure out.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you can store it, you're going to have it made.
Or we could go dig through Tesla's notes. Trump's Uncle John was the one who they sent to dig through Tesla's apartment after he died.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was a professor at MIT, John Trump.
Oh.
Yep. I wonder what he found there, and I wonder if he told Trump about it. Here we are. There's another one, local. Nordic-inspired spa moves closer to groundbreaking. It's groundbreaking, all right. It's at a Superfund site, Terry.
Wow.
It's at that Superfund site down in South Burlington where all that coal tar and stuff is.
Wow.
Yeah. Can I get the coal tar facial?
Well, that'll be the next thing.
Oh, man. Let's see. While the bathhouse was originally slated to open last year, earlier 2024, delays have pushed the groundbreaking date back. In addition to the approvals, all the construction phases in Vermont, the development is complicated by its contaminated soil from exposure to factories on Pine Street in the 1900s and its location next to a Superfund site. The presentation to the DRB included extensive soil and stormwater management plans and still require approval from the state entities. Because there's one thing you learn in Vermont, man, is if you want to build anything, you got to go through Act 250, and it could take you forever just to build a friggin' outhouse.
Yep, I know. Look what they did to poor Kyle up in Derby.
Yeah, crazy.
But he's still in business.
Unbelievable. Oh yeah, I love this stuff, and they're all like, "Yeah, look, we're gonna get Trump this time, Mister." These people are deranged. It's like Moby Dick, the great white whale. Department of Justice facing biggest test in its history. Yeah, the biggest test is how to change a misdemeanor to some kind of chooched up felony using a KKK act from 1877, for crying out loud. You know, are you people kidding me? Listen to the bias in this article. It's nuts. By Colleen Long and Lindsay Whitehurst. Try as Garland might, though, there's no escaping the politics. when the Justice Department of a president who is running for re-election is indicting his chief political rival, the front runner for the Republican nomination. And though he's distanced himself from the investigation since he appointed special counsel Jack Smith 10 months ago, Judy Garland has the last word on matters related to prosecution as long as he's Attorney General. Well, get this. President Joe Biden has sought to distance himself from the Justice Department to avoid any appearance of meddling when the agency is not only probing Trump, but also his son Hunter. That is a flat-out lie, Philo. According to my research, on April 4th of 2022, Biden came out and told Garland that he wanted him to be more like a real prosecutor. And you can see that stuff at the Article3project.org. It's crazy, man. Unbelievable. Let's see. The latest indictment. Let's see. Claiming a two-tier justice system vilifies Trump and goes easy on Biden's son, who was accused of tax crime after a years-long probe. Tax crime? That's just the beginning of it. We're talking of Foreign Agent Registration Act violations, Foreign Corrupt Practices Act violations, bribery along with his father, extortion, etc., etc. These girls that are writing these stories, it just kills me, man.
That must be the Burlington Free Press.
Oh, you know it, man.
The snowflake paper,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I would be happy if they gave both sides just once in a while. Just once in a while, maybe give the other side. But oh no. Here we are. The release of the Russia report by Special Counsel Robert Mueller was colored by politics when Bill Barr issued a 4-page memo. It was widely criticized as spinning the investigation's findings in favor of Trump. Mueller's actual report, 2 volumes, $40 million, 2 volumes, 448 pages, was far more nuanced and laid out in part how Trump directed others to influence or curtail the Russia investigation after the special counsel's appointment on May 2017. That's because there was nothing there, and it was made up by Hillary, and the fucking FBI ran with it. Oh my God. I can't believe it. It's too much. It's too much. Yeah, my brain's melting. My freaking brain is melting. Oh yeah, here we are. Monday, August 7th, 1964. Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution.
Oh, I remember that one. That was so good.
Yeah.
Got us into a 10-year war with all those millions of people killed. How to go, LBJ.
My brother included.
Yeah. Isn't that sickening?
Why was my brother drafted and sent 10,000 miles away to die in a friggin' rice paddy? You know?
For nothing.
For nothing. Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. And what was, they claimed that a North Vietnamese destroyer, a gunboat, had fired on one of our destroyers in the Gulf of Tonkin. And you had Admiral Stockdale, the guy who ran for vice president along with Ross Perot.
Yeah.
He was in a jet plane looking for that friggin' boat. He said he was flying so low that salt spray was hitting his windscreen, and he didn't find boat one, North Vietnamese or any other boat in the whole Tonkin Gulf, man.
Yep, it was. This is all for LBJ's ego. That's
Yeah.
what this whole thing was.
Just like in that movie, JFK. You get me elected president, I'll give you your damn war. Unbelievable. Yep, we are not going to let Vietnam go the way of Cuba. Oh, sure. Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, what
And
else?
people call us conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you've got a history of it.
Yeah, every time we turn around, man.
Whether it was Lee Harvey Oswald, or whether it was Vietnam, or whether it was Gulf War I.
The lone gunman.
Yep.
I love the
With
lone
a rifle
gunman.
that couldn't shoot 5 feet without blowing your whole foot off.
Yeah, unbelievable. Here we are, 1 in 35 workers, healthcare workers at a Swiss hospital had signs of heart injury associated with Moderna's boosters, researchers found. Let's see. Yeah. 79% of people whose Medicaid health coverage were terminated because of red tape issues. They didn't return the renewal form. In the mail, the state was unable to reach individuals, officials say. Well, you get a form in the mail, you got to look at it before you chuck it out, man.
Yep.
You think? 3,000 cars. An electric car is believed to have caused a blaze aboard a cargo ship that was carrying almost 3,000 vehicles off the Netherlands, excuse me. Well, sorry about that. You should have put the battery-powered car up on the top deck, I guess. Or maybe towed it on a raft behind the other ones.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Steve, last but not least.
Oh, my God,
Make it
already?
a good one.
Oh, good grief. I don't know if I have any piece de la resistances. Anything good? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, here we are. All right, this day in history. This day in history, Friday, August 4th, FDR, let's see, 1936, Jesse Owens of the U.S. won the second of 4 gold medals at the Berlin Olympics as he prevailed in long jump over the German Lutz Long, who was the first to congratulate him. And guess who never let him visit the White House, Philo? That friend of the black man, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah. Harry Truman had no problem, though. FDR, Eleanor was okay, but not FDR. Well, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show, so hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees, and the men only moss, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dressed in front of you. Head east and worship the meteorite in Mecca and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, open bar.
And of course, a happy Deus Magnus to everybody.
Is Jerry.
Any wrongdoing by the president.
So I thought I'd do these idiots a favor. This moron congresswoman and this dunce over at CNN. You ready? Just get ready to take notes. You got a pen? Get your pen out and you can take notes. Here's the actual proof. It's way beyond evidence. At this point, it's pretty much proven Biden was taking money. You've got suspicious activity reports from banks. You suggesting that's not evidence? You ready to sue them? You've got a credible, confidential human source the FBI's deemed credible that has already said Biden is the big guy taking money from foreign sources. You've got photos of Joe Biden at business meetings with Hunter Biden's business partners in restaurants. You've got a voicemail from Joe Biden to his son saying, hey, I think you're in the clear. You've got emails from business partners suggesting that 10% has to be kept for the big guy. You've got bank records in banks showing a money trail from Rob Walker and others to the Biden family. You've got texts from Hunter Biden to his family members saying, hey, listen, I'm getting tired of taking care of dad and all. You've got WhatsApp messages from Hunter Biden to a foreign business partner saying, I'm sitting next to my dad and you better come through. You have physical meetings Joe Biden was at, according to one of their business partners with Hunter Biden's business partner. You have 2 business partners testifying against Joe Biden, Tony Bobolinsky and Devon Archer here, who both have come out publicly. Devon Archer's going to on Monday if he makes it. That have both come out and said this guy is part and parcel to a bribery scheme. We're going to say something like that. You have two whistleblowers suggesting that this case was being handled differently and that Biden was up to something. You have his travel with his father on Air Force Two, Hunter Biden, literal pictures of him getting off in foreign countries he was doing business with. And then you have you have tapes, you have audio tapes of Joe Biden, audio videotapes talking about, well, son of a bitch, we fired the prosecutor. And you have Joe Biden on tape with the Ukrainian president saying, I'll get you the $1 billion now that you fired the prosecutor. But you're right. There's other than that, there is, Guy said it right, fellas. There's no evidence at all. You dip in the media.
Speaker McCarthy is going to do, not going to do, how House Republicans are going to move forward. I just don't have anything else to share.
I see nothing.
I know nothing.
The Earth's 9 wonders.
What?
Wonders of the world.
What?
Literally. Think of that.
Think of that?
You know, it's amazing. Enduring symbol of America to the entire world. America's natural wonders are central to our heritage and our identity as a nation.
What?
Conserving them not only protects the livelihoods of
What, were you
people
gonna
who depend
fill in
on
the
them,
Grand Canyon or something?
preserves key pieces of our history. Electric buses and vehicles in the world. You guys are getting us in the game. It's going to make a lot of difference.
Yeah,
Well, now they're
right.
out of the game because the company was a scam. In California, the buses caught on fire. In Philly, they broke down, and in Alaska, the batteries froze in the cold. And in Minnesota, they stalled out on the hills. The wheels on the bus do not go round and round. And it takes a year to fix an electric bus because the parts are so rare. So why would the Democrats invest so much political capital and taxpayer capital in a broken electric bus company?
Kickbacks.
Because it was a pump and dump scheme. Al Gore had millions invested in the company while he was lobbying the White House to herald it. George Soros had over 20 million invested in Proterra. Jennifer Granholm, Biden's energy secretary, sat on the company's board. She held stock in Proterra while she was secretary, and then sold it for about $1.5 million. Joe Biden even put the Proterra CEO on a prestigious government board. And reports say Proterra insiders dumped their stock before the company went bankrupt.
No.
This was a political pump and dump.
Oh.
Cash out before the crash. Proterra stock is now worth 17 cents a share.
Good time to buy.
This is like Solyndra. House Republicans need to launch an immediate investigation
Oh,
into this
that'll change
taxpayer-funded
everything.
scam that Biden donors and cronies made a fortune from.
I'd send them a nasty
Clay
letter.
Travis is the founder of Outkick.